For question 9.4, we've got a pretty interesting topic here. You would typically encounter it at like first year level at university, like an introduction to calculus type course, Maths 1. This is called integration. So for a certain function f, the first derivative is given as f dash x is equal to 3x squared plus 8x minus 3. Now, if it is further given that f of x is equal to ax cubed plus bx squared plus cx plus d, and f0, so when we sub in x is equal to 0 gives us negative 18. So look, we know from our basic functions knowledge that in order to calculate a y-intercept, x must be equal to 0. So in other words, that's our y-intercept or our constant. Now, all things considered, determine the equation of f. So we need to work backwards here, everybody. We need to use integration. So they've given us our first derivative, right? We want f of x, basically. How are we going to go about solving that? So how did we get 3x squared here? Well, that must have been an x cubed, right? It had to have been an x cubed because that's how we got the 3. So x cubed. 1 times 3 is 3. 3 minus 1 is 2. So that would have been 3x squared plus. How did we get this 8x here in our first derivative? Well, it had to have been something squared. So what times 2 is going to give you 8? It's going to be 4 times 2 that gives you 8. 4x squared. 4 times 2 is 8. 2 minus 1 is just going to be 1. That's how we get our 8x. How did we get this minus 3 here? Well, it had to have been something minus 3, and that was just going to be an x as your coefficient. So just minus 3x, and our constant was given as negative 18. So this is a very interesting question, guys. You are working backwards with this one. And you just got to keep asking yourself, like, how did I get a 3 here? Well, you are dealing with a cubic function, so it was probably just x cubed. It was 1 times 3. That's how you got the 3. Well, how did we get this h here? Well, after the cube comes a squared. What times 2 gives you 8? 4, okay? After the cubed, after the squared, we just get a coefficient of x. So what times 1 could have possibly given you? Negative 3. Well, negative 3x. And look, this constant, it could have been absolutely anything because the derivative of a constant is 0. That's why it's not listed here. That's why they had to give us the answer. And that's it. This is integration for you guys.